My name is Peter Bruninger, and I'm here with Bill Parrish from GTT Audio. Bill, how are you?
Excellent. How are you, Peter?
Well, Bill, I am so thrilled to be here today for the North American launch of the Heisenberg and Stern from Audionet.
Well, welcome.
Thank you very much. Look at the size of these amplifiers. I can't believe it.
Well, I can assure you they're as heavy to move as they look. They're quite heavy, and lifting 4 of them in place was no easy chore.
The viewers have been here from the beginning when we interviewed the founder of the company, Thomas Gessler, when he introduced the amplifiers in Munich.
Yes.
Here they are at market already.
Yeah, exactly. It's terrific, and you have paid many trips up here.
Yes.
And you've heard this system with 1 set of Maxes and 2 set of Audionet Maxes, and now with 2 sets of Heisenberg. So you've got to hear it each step of the way.
I sure have, and viewers, I'm going to give you my report in a little bit, because you're going to have to wait. First, we want to hear about the amplifiers. How much power do they put out?
530 watts in the 8 ohms, 1,050 in the 4 ohms. They're stable down to 2 ohms.
Yeah. So you can weld steel with these.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Damping factor greater than 10,000.
Oh, my goodness.
One of the fastest rise time slew rates in the industry.
Wow.
Balanced and single-ended inputs.
Yeah, in fact, we're...
2 sets of binding posts.
As you'll see here in this close-up shot, their FurUtech binding post. FurUtech is used throughout the Audionet line.
Yeah, this is their top-of-the-line rhodium plated ones, and they're ratcheted. So I can show you here. The viewers will be able to hear it. There's no over-tightening. You see that?
Yeah. It's kind of like the gas cap on my Mercedes-Benz.
There you go. Yeah.
That's right.
Once you get to a certain part,
Well, they have unbelievable bandwidth. What's the bandwidth on the amplifiers?
The bandwidth is out to 700,000 hertz.
My goodness gracious!
And then we have the the matching component to this is the Stern preamp with a bandwidth out to 2.2 megahertz.
That's what I saw on the spec. We were reading the specifications to both of the units prior to the video shoot, and it's pure audio porn. If you're into audio equipment, the specifications are just off the charts. How quiet they are, how low the distortion numbers are, how much power they put out. So we're sitting here between a pair of them. So we have these bi-amped on the Sony XVs.
That's right. I decided to bi-amp. We were bi-amping before. Bi-amping doesn't add more power per se, doesn't make this system any louder, but it always relaxes the system and also adds to just the sheer size of the soundstage.
No, they don't put out an inordinate amount of heat. It isn't like you can fry an egg on here,
no,
but they're nice and they're warm.
They're Class AB amplifiers, but with there plenty of ventilation, convection cooling. It's all perforated on the bottom. You see that we have these nice feet that get it up a good 1.5 inches from there, and so it can draw air in and then come out the top. And hopefully you'll be able to do some close-ups and see all the machining. Audionet has a patent on this floating panel design. The preamplifier has already been in the Smithsonian. Mr. Esslinger has done a wonderful job on the industrial design of these, and it's not extruded, it's machined. There's thousands of holes on the top for the cooling. It's done with just pure class. It's a very luxurious look and feel.
Well, I've never been next to an amplifier that's, well, of course on stands, that's taller than my knee. So this is just, I don't know what to say, except that these are consummate with the level of the loudspeakers. The YG-XV loudspeakers are now have met their match with these amplifiers. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think, yes. I mean, everything in this system is at the same level, something we were talking about earlier. I mean, whether it's the amplifier, the XV speakers, which you were here last year for that launch, the realization cables from Kabbalah Sosna that were added this summer, the Kronos Pro with the SCPS1. I mean, everything in this system is at the same level. There is no compromise. But these Audionets have, once putting them in here, it raised the bar.
Well, we listened to a number of tracks. We listened to Dead Can Dance, Opium. We listened to Ray Brown, what's it, Before Midnight, and
Round Midnight, yeah.
and the bowing of Ray on the bass. Well, I've never heard.
It's like you could see the resin falling right off the bass.
Right. The first thing I noticed, viewers, when I sat down in the sweet spot to listen, was how effortless the system is. Before I could hear, it sounded like it's like the best hi-fi system I had ever heard. But now it just sounds like music. It just sounds like the performers are here in the room.
Exactly. When I enter the room now, I'm coming to listen to a performance, not to action. I really don't feel that we're listening to a stereo. I've spent hundreds of trips to Carnegie Hall and trying to recreate that here, to the jazz clubs in New York, to Music Verein, to the Berlin Philharmonic, to the Concertgebouw. I mean, I've been around, and now we've got something that's truly true to the source. You know, it can take you there.
Well, my reference from years ago were my balcony box seats in the Academy of Music, listening to the Philadelphia Orchestra.
Yep.
And this today reminded me of that experience. I had those box seats for 20 years. And so I have 20 years of ear experience on that. They were center row balcony front. And this is exactly the sound I'm getting here today. I don't know, it's just hard to find words to describe this, except it's the sound of music.
No, when we were playing Scheherazade, the famous Rainer Scheherazade, we were commenting on Chicago Symphony Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, we've both been there. We know what it sounds like, and we heard it come through on the recording.
I think that's LSC 1806, if I'm not mistaken, and that's Classic RCA recording viewers that is on HP of yours record list. And it was as if you were in Chicago Symphony Hall. And I've been to Chicago Symphony Hall on a number of occasions, and it's a narrow hall, and that you're not way back from the stage. So the whole hall is built around and engulfs the stage. The stage is it's like a smaller listening room experience, and I think that's what brings out the magic in the instruments, because they're right there in front of you. Yeah. And this is what this gives you. It's really an extraordinary sound. So tell us a little bit about the Stern.
The Stern is a, you'll get this, I like to describe it as a top shelf preamp.
Well, it's sitting on top of the shelf.
It is, but it really can only go on a top shelf.
Yeah.
It's a massive preamplifier with no space inside. I mean, it is filled with componentry. It's filled tight, and it is an amazing line stage. It's so dynamic and so quiet, so quick.
Well, as you can see here, it's almost the size or bigger than the Kronos turntable. I think
exactly.
I've never seen a line stage of that size, and the beauty of it is it's again a floating panel design done by Hartmut Esslinger, and it is simply when you look at it. You first see this floating design, and on the Stern, as we're looking at now, you can see it. It's almost as if the top of it is it's sitting there on a cushion of air.
Yeah, it's got a natural output impedance of 22 ohms.
My goodness!
I mean, it's not corrected. That's a natural circuit, and you can hear it when we're playing it. The way it controls these amplifiers.
Well, I want to add also, as I was reading through. Both the Stern and the Heisenberg are direct DC coupled.
Yep.
We don't have any capacitors in the signal path.
None whatsoever.
We have, in fact, a shielding here. These floating panels have brass inlay plates inside to help them further dissipate any microscopic energy that's within, so that these panels are an integral part of the sonic performance of the amplifier.
Right.
And I think that that too adds to how special the Heisenberg and Stern actually are. They really are a true statement product, perhaps, and maybe will just have to say it, the best in the world today.
Well, it's an amazing comment coming from you.
Well, I've been watching.
You've been around. You've heard a lot of stuff. You see a lot of stuff. You're at the shows, all
Yeah.
the shows,
Yeah.
doing the video, going in all the rooms. It's certainly the best I've heard to date.
Well,
I mean, signal to noise ratio on these amps and the preamp are off the charts. They're so quiet. I mean, we're running 2 pairs of 12-meter single-ended interconnects, and you can't hear anything out of the speakers.
no, it's dead quiet in the room as we speak. And I sit here, I shake my head. I'm shaking my head in kind of awe and amazement at the achievement of these amplifiers. We follow them from the beginning, from just the basic industrial design that were shown without anything inside of them, so we could really get a feel for what they look like. And to have them here today is probably one of the most memorable, or will be one of the most memorable days of my audio life. It's really just spectacular.
Well, it's a
being
true
here.
pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you, Bill. Well, what we'd like to do, viewers, is we're going to do something a little bit different here. I really don't think you can understand the impact of these amplifiers unless you come and visit GTT Audio in person and listen. We're going to give you a little snippet, but we're not going to give you 5 minutes of music. You're going to have to come here and get that, because it's just...
Yeah, really, it's too good for that. It can't, your microphones can't capture that.
Can't capture it.
And
Yep.
yeah, either come here, make an appointment, or contact us or one of our dealers, and go to our dealers in here at. We have a system going in Dallas that people can go audition, and there'll be more coming before the end of the year. So.
Well, very good.
We definitely are anxious to get these in the dealers around the country and let the best be heard.
Well, Bill, before we start our little listening snippet, show us the system, please.
Sure, Peter. We've got the Kronos Pro limited edition, along with the SCPS-1. That's a supercapacitor power supply, which is an option. We're using the Andre Theriault Black Beauty arm, the airtight Opus 1 cartridge. And then, as I was saying when we were sitting over between the amplifiers, joking that the Stern's a top shelf preamp. Both that it's one of the best available today, and where else are you going to put it but the top shelf? So we're using the Stern, launching that with the Heisenberg, using, which we've used many times, the PAM G2 phono stage, along with an EPX power supply, the DNC digital network converter, D to A converter streamer with an EPX. And also new for 2017 is the Audionet Plonk top loading CD player, and we're using it with the Ampere power supply. Now, we did a little comparison with you of we had piqued your interest about the Plonk by itself, and then that we were using the Ampere, and you said, well, what's the Ampere really do? And I think you got to hear. I'll let you fill the viewers in for that.
Well, that's an easy one. It just, the sound stage exploded, and it just sounded more like music. It was, the difference was immediate.
It really was. I mean, it's just like poof.
Yeah, poof.
The Audionet, it's a pure analog line stage, and everything. It's not a touch screen. We want to touch buttons to really give you that analog feel. But one of the things that has a menu, you can do the display, balance, power settings, serial interfaces, bypass for home theater. It has networks. It has a network. It has a wireless antenna. You can do Wi-Fi app control. You download an iOS app on your iPhone, and you can control it with the iPhone. volume inputs, mute. Basic things are going to keep improving on that app, but it is cool that you can sit there and control it with your iPhone as well.
Very cool. Let's do that little listening snippet and teaser. Here we
Yes,
go.
let's do it.
Okay, thanks. Well, even though that was a 30-second snippet, Renee Laflamme from Fidelio recorded the Frederic Jazz Trio, and that's Walking on the Moon. We've heard that track before, but I've never heard it played like that. To hear it properly done, you have to come here to GTT Audio or visit a dealer near you that carries Audionet. Call Bill Parrish. He'll direct you to the closest dealer to you, or if you're here in the Northeast, you have to come here to New Jersey to hear this system. It is just, it's extraordinary. Thank you.
Thank you.